Welcome to the Hilton Head Living Podcast. I am your host, OT Gibbons. Our mission with all of our content is to make sure you get the most out of your time in Hilton Head. All the best places to go, all the biggest events going on, everything you need to know to get the most out of your time on the island. I'm joined as always by the star of our content, my beautiful wife and co-host, Jessica Gibbons. How you doing, Jess?
Hey, can you believe it's August?
Crazy.
I feel like it's just summer has flown by, and kids are about to go back to school. I think they go back like the 21st, I want to say. So they only have like 2 more weeks of freedom.
Yeah, it's gone by quick. I feel like I haven't done that much, mainly because of colds.
Right. And I feel like I've actually done a lot, but therefore it also went by quickly too, because...
And we've had to do it separately also, because like one of us has had to be here with him.
Yeah, hopefully we're getting closer to the end of that.
Yes. Well, all right. On this week's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about things to do in August and events coming up this weekend for you to look out for. We're going to be talking about everything going on in August. We're going to be talking about our favorite new thing that we tried last week. And as always, we're going to answer the people. But before we get into all that, I do have to ask the people listening on our podcast to go ahead and rate the podcast. I just noticed the other week that we had some ratings. Thank you to people who had rated it. But if you are listening on the podcast, please go throw us a rating. Let us know how we're doing. And if you have any questions, let us know and we'll try to answer them. But with that, Jess, why don't we get into what's happening in August and then what's happening this weekend?
So there's one last thing happening in July, since the podcast does come out on Wednesdays, and it's the 31st. The Palmetto Running Company and the Hilton Head Humane Association is having a pup run at Jarvis Creek General Store. So they're going to have dogs to cheer on the runners, which is a fun little thing. And then the dogs are there for adoption, of course. And Jarvis Creek General Store is such a fun place to go to. It's just a big, mostly outdoor area. They do have a little bit of indoor area, but they usually have a food truck. They usually have live music going on, and they usually have nightly events every week too. So if you have nothing to do on Wednesday evening, it's at 6:30. Go see what's going on there. And then moving into August, we have on the 2nd is the Rick Hubbard Kazooie Kazoo Show, which is always a mouthful to say. It's on the 2nd. It's underneath the Liberty Tree in Sea Pines, and it's from 8 to 9:30. There's a couple things going on the 3rd. First, we have Nectar in Bluffton. There's also a location in Hilton Head. So the one in Bluffton is having a back-to-school family celebration from 11 to 8. They'll have live music. There's kids' activities like bouncy house, a water slide, cornhole, and a dunk tank too. It always seems like a good time. So a great place to bring the kids. Also on the 3rd, the Westin is hosting their 2nd beachside barbecue, bourbon, and brews. Another mouthful. Why are all these events such a mouthful to say?
Yeah, they don't realize that we're doing a podcast for this. Come on, people.
Anyways, so again, that's at the Westin. It's an interactive barbecue demo, and I'm sure you get to taste the food afterwards. Tickets include beer and wine, the barbecue demo, live music, and tastings from the Burnt Church Distillery and Lincoln and South, which are both local places. Very good. We've been to both. Love them both. Tickets are $89, and you can just go to the Westin website or their Instagram page to get those tickets. Then we have movie nights at the Shelter Cove Town Center. They will take place on the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. So the one on the 1st coming up, the movie will be Secretariat. So, do you remember the movie? That was a good movie. Yeah, so good times. The movie starts at 8:30. And again, bring your own chairs, snacks, blankets, whatever you need to have fun and watch the movie.
Seabiscuit was better.
That's what, I don't know actually if I saw Secretariat. We might have to watch it again. I definitely remember Seabiscuit. And I feel like I know the actors in Secretariat.
It's good.
So maybe that's a movie we can watch again because it's definitely been a long time. Then we have Jazz in the Park. Takes place on the 6th and the 20th at 7:30 at Low Country Celebration Park. And the band for the 6th is Folderall, which I actually saw them at the Food and Wine Festival. They were so much fun. So they're dressed in like 20s outfits. It's like one of the guys has a big cello kind of thing, but they played pop songs. And everybody was up dancing around. I don't know if they'll be doing the same thing, but I definitely want to go because they were so fun when we saw them at the Food and Wine Festival. So Folderall, if you're watching, can we play some pop songs? Sorry.
You didn't get enough dancing the other night?
We don't need to talk about that. I got some messages from followers being like, oh, did we see you at the Triangle? Had a girls' night. If you guys didn't see my stories the next day, I had a girls' night. OT was kind enough to drive us and pick us up, and I'll just say I had a good time. Then we have DJ Allen's Family Show will take place on Tuesday the 9th in Sea Pines underneath the Liberty Oak Tree from 8 to 9:30. Then there's the Sea Turtle 5K hosted by the Palmetto Running Company will take place on 8/10. The August Sunset Beach Yoga by Move Fitness will take place on the 11th from 7:15 to 8:15. And as a reminder, Chicago is playing at the Art Center until the 18th, which I have tickets. Woohoo!
Yeah,
we're doing another girls' night.
Nice.
It's family girls' night, so it's not going to be as
rowdy.
But right. I'm very excited for that too.
Yeah,
so
you've been excited for a while for that one.
I know we got tickets a while ago because they do sell out quickly. So go see if there are still tickets left. And then just as a reminder, also this is the last month for all of the summer weekly activities, such as Harbor Fest. Like their last fireworks is Labor Day weekend. So
isn't this the last month ever for Mermaid Nina also?
It is. Yes, good point. So Mermaid Nina, I think a lot of you probably saw I did a couple of reels on that. She's amazing.
She's so impressive. I saw a video the other day of her in the water with like an alligator, and she was like totally like, this is just how it is. Like, I obviously she's going to go study like marina life and stuff, and man, her just understanding and education level of all that stuff is so impressive, and what she's done for the kids and everybody is just awesome.
Her swimming is impressive.
Yeah.
To be swimming around, treading along for that long, and then with a mermaid tail on.
And then I saw another video where someone almost like cast a net on her.
That's the whole part of it.
Oh, that's part of
that
it?
Wasn't real.
Oh, I thought that was, I thought that was real. I was like, damn, she's got to avoid boats and stuff too. Jesus.
No, that's really funny. Sorry. No, it's part of the scheme. Professor Algie tries to capture her, and then the kids on the boat have to like save her. They blow magical bubbles to help the professor forget what she's doing, and then so everybody on the boat is saving Nina. That's part of the scheme.
Okay, well,
somebody's trying to catch a live mermaid.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if somebody just made a mistake. She's got a fishtail on. I don't know.
But yeah, so last of all the summer events. So get them in while you can before the fall starts.
So with that, let's talk about our favorite new thing that we tried last week. Jess, trying a bunch of new stuff. What was your favorite new thing?
I went on a boat ride in Palmetto Bluff. It's called The Grace, and they just restored it. It's over 100-year-old wooden motor yacht. It's really pretty. It was very calming, so if you don't really like being on boats, you probably would like it because it was pretty big, and it went pretty slow. And you go down the May River to about Windmill Harbor, and then kind of turn around. So you get to see the bridge coming on to Hilton Head. It was really pretty. You get to see dolphins along the way and stuff. And they have Nibbles and Bites brings a nice little charcuterie where they actually had these little tacos that were delicious, so good. And it's also bring your own beverages. You can bring your own food. Some people have brought some other snacks on too. They'll tell you like the history of the boat because it was from Vanderbilt's wife. She's the woman with the house that burned down and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember all of the history. So go on the tour and they'll let you know. It was very interesting. Like her family disowned her because she wasn't marrying as wealthy and stuff. So it was a really interesting story. So, but a lot of fun. It was a beautiful night out. And again, a lot of people don't know you can just get into Palmetto Bluff. You do have to buy tickets for the boat ride. They have an Instagram page. They have a website. And the website also tells you the history of the boat. So when you go to the gate, you just tell them you're going on the Grace boat ride. And they'll give you the little thing to put into your windshield. And you just go down to the square. The dock, it's the Grace dock. It's to the side a little bit of the river house and behind it. Just because I had a little bit of trouble finding it.
And to clarify again, she's saying she paid for tickets to the boat. You don't have to pay to get into Palmetto Bluff.
Yes.
It is free to get into Palmetto Bluff. You have to go up to the gate, tell them where you're going, but they give you a pass and you go in. You go to Buffalo's for lunch. You could go to the restaurants for dinner. You could be going to any number of places, but she's saying that she was paying for the tickets to the boat.
Yes, sorry, thank you. And so I took your mom with me, and we actually had a glass of wine at Buffalo's beforehand too. So nice if you want to do the boat ride and then have dinner afterwards at one of the places, or it was a little bit of a later boat ride, so you can have something to eat or lunch. They have earlier ones too. So, and kids were on it. Most of it's covered. They have a little back area that you can sit on. And we had a gorgeous sunset, of course. So we went to the sunset one. So nice, relaxing. I think it'd be awesome for like a little date night. You bring your own little bottle of wine, champagne. They have music going on too, and it's a nice little boat ride. It'd be nice and relaxing.
Nice. That's awesome.
And how about you?
So we had probably my favorite meal that we have ever had. We've gotten to eat at we've been very fortunate, got to eat at a lot of great places, and this might have been my favorite ever. We had it delivered to my parents. It's called Loco Go.
Loco on the go.
Loco on the go. And it's a shrimp boil.
And crabs. There was crabs.
Yeah, well, it's a boil. And they bring it to your house. They drop it off. It's in this tin. And you made it, in all fairness. But
technically, I turned the stove on.
Right. But what I was going to say was I am a completely inept cook. I can grill, and that is it. I could make this. It was so simple. The directions were so easy. Everything's bagged up. It could not be easier to make. It was so good. It was fire. It was amazing. The corn, the sausage, the crab, the shrimp, the cornbread. It was so good. It was unbelievable. Oh my goodness.
And it's easy cleanup too.
Yes. It was easy cleanup. You just put everything back into the tin, and then we also had a pie delivered from, what was the name of the place that you got the pie from?
Southern Baked Pie.
Southern Baked Pie, peach pie, the best pie I've ever had in my life. All four of us agreed, best pie ever had. Number one, unbelievable pie. It was so good. But Loco Go, couldn't recommend that more. It's such an easy meal. If you're here at the beach and you've got a large family with you, perfect. If you're here for a golf trip, got a bunch of guys or girls, and you don't have time you want to grab dinner real fast before you're going out, or you get home from the course late, perfect. You got whatever it is. It is such an easy meal. They deliver it. It's delicious and it's easy to make. How much better does it get than that?
That's it. I did do a video recently on it. It's everything comes in their own separate bags. Even their seasoning that you just drop in to the water and just boil things. That's basically it. So you need to give yourself, I think I want to say 20 minutes in between when they drop it off and when it's going to be served. But it's also like something kids could help with. They just dump the ingredients into the pot. The first stuff, it's not even on the stove when you drop it in, so nothing's hot or anything, but so easy. It's women-owned. 3 moms own it. They're so nice. They couldn't be nicer. So
Very
sweet. Yeah.
Very sweet. They dropped it off. They were very kind. Very nice. Really, really, really recommend. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
My favorite.
So, since you're more of the expert on this, I'm going to ask the question. And the most question that we've gotten asked this week is, what would be your ideal golf trip on Hilton Head Island?
So, I think that we would plan this out. We could talk about the dinners as well, where we would maybe go eat. But let's say you're coming in on a Thursday morning and you're leaving on a Sunday. I think if you're coming in on Thursday's your check-in. You want to start, our preference has always been to kind of start with a fun, maybe an easier golf course. I would start with a Dolphin Head or a Hilton Head National or Bear Creek as the golf courses that I would start out my trip with. That would be the starter course. And then on Thursday night, you just got in, you're probably pretty tired. You're probably looking for like a grab and go meal. Like, what would be a good meal for that, you think?
I would say Surge Takeout. It's refrigerated meals or frozen meals. It depends. And desserts. And you just go and easily pick out. They have different sizes. Heat it up. Good to go. It's great for like lasagnas, pastas, to feed a bigger group or hungry group.
Yeah, and it's kind of central in the island. So it's pretty much, if you're staying wherever you're staying, it's pretty easy to get to. But you pick that up on your way home from the golf course at night and you're good to go. Friday, I think a lot of groups are probably going to do 36 holes as Saturday as well. I think I would absolutely do Atlantic Dunes, Heron Point as one of the days. They're right next to each other. Fraser's is right there for food. Makes for a really easy day. Get there in the morning, play one of the two courses, have lunch at Fraser's, take some time off, go play the other course. That's a great way to go. The other options for the other days, you could go to Port Royal, you could go to Palmetto Dunes, you could do the other two courses in the Hilton Head Plantation Development. So if you played Dolphin Head on Thursday, you could then play Oyster Reef and Bear Creek the next day. I actually think if you're going to top off your weekend with a Harbor Town round on Saturday, which would maybe be your only round on Saturday, that is, I would plan everything around that. I would absolutely not come to Hilton Head and not play Harbor Town. I realize it's really expensive and not everybody can do that. So giving you some options, but if you're going to play Harbor Town, Oyster Reef is actually a great practice round for that. It kind of gives you a similar vibe of what you're going to be facing. So maybe keep that in mind. So then on Friday night, you just played 36 holes. Maybe you're going out that night. You're looking for something really good. You got a bunch of guys or girls together. You're kind of sitting around your dining room table. What do you think for dinner on Friday night?
That'd probably be the go out night, right?
It could be the go out night. It also could be your low-co to go kind of night. Like if you wanted to have something come to the house, still have a really delicious meal, everybody kind of hang out together. Could be either one. But let's say Friday or Saturday, you're likely going out one of those nights. What would be the places you would recommend for a big group like that?
We always do the Skull Creek, Dockside, and Boathouse. Gorgeous view. There's usually a live music. The great bars, outdoor bars. There's cornhole or some games if you need to wait. A little more relaxed vibe, but dinnery vibe kind of thing. And then if you wanted to take it up a notch, you could always go. The bank is a large outdoor area. There's a brewery inside. They have the jumbo screen TV. So if it's fall football time, that would be perfect. If not, then they also have DJ there. That's fun.
And if you didn't want to eat at the bank, you could eat at Enchiladas, which is like right next door. And then you can make your way over to the bank. And the bank would be an awesome spot to watch, college football on Saturday night or whatever Friday night game was on in the fall. That's kind of it's all like right there. And then if you really wanted to get after it, you could walk down to the Triangle and stay out super late and, make it to that tea time hungover the next day. But that's a pretty good layout. Some version of come in on Thursday, play your opening round. Highly recommend that as Hilton Head National or Dolphin Head. Just really fun golf courses. Or Golden Bear is another option for that as well. Fairly inexpensive, really fun track right there across from Hilton Head Plantation. And then on Friday, if you're doing the 36 holes, you could do and then on Friday, if you're doing the 36 holes, you're doing Heron Point or Atlantic Dunes together. You could go to Palmetto Dunes and do 2 of their courses. You could do Port Royal and do those 2 courses. There's some version of that. And then you could either have dinner come to you and go out, or you could go out and go to dinner and check out one of those spots we mentioned. And then on Saturday, topping it off with Harbor Town Links. It is absolutely worth the money. But if you're not going to do it, there's obviously other options. If you wanted to get in those 36 holes that day, you could go to any of the other places that we mentioned and top it off with a nice meal at one of those restaurants and then get out of here on Sunday.